Rules are changing, and if you don't want to get denied boarding on your next international flight, you're going to want to make sure you're up to date on all of these rules. And stick around to the end where we talk about what to do if the worst happens. Tip number 1, the expiration buffer rule. 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. How long does your passport have to be valid for you in order to travel? The answer? Well, it depends, because it depends on where you're going. The countries with the strictest rules say 6 months, meaning your passport has to be valid for 6 months after the date you arrive in another country. If you're going to be country hopping, then it's best to assume 6 months from when you return back home. If you want to be sure your passport is safe, stick with the 6 months rule. However, if you're visiting Europe and sticking within the Schengen area, then you require a less stringent 3 months of passport validity. And if you're in the US and just popping over to visit our nearby neighbors in Canada, then as long as your passport is valid, you're good to go. The absolute best thing to do is check the IATA Travel Center website before you fly, as countries change their rules all the time, and you want to be 100% confident you can get where you're going without issue. Also, go check your passport right now. If the expiration date is within the next 9 months, put Renew Passport on your calendar this week. Your future self does not want to learn international entry rules while standing in an airport line. Tip number 2, Europe's 10-year since issue trap. For our more seasoned travelers, this is for you. There is a chance your passport could still technically be valid, but Europe will say it's too old for them. For Schengen entry rules, your passport needs to be issued within the last 10 years and be valid 3 months after you leave. So flip to the photo page in your passport and check the date of issue. If your passport is nearing the 10-year mark, time to renew. And if you're planning a big Europe trip this year, renew early enough so that you're not caught off guard if there are delays. Tip number 3, the blank pages rule. And yeah, this still gets people. The blank pages rule may seem antiquated because lots of countries don't even stamp passports anymore, yet this rule is still a thing, which means it can still trip people up. Because you've got plenty of time left on your passport, but it's stamp packed and the airline says no. So some countries require 2 to 4 blank visa and stamp pages. And the State Department notes some airlines won't let you board if you don't meet that requirement. So grab your passport, open it up, and count the blank pages. And if it has 1 stamp, it's technically not blank. You want to count fully blank pages. And if you're low, unfortunately, you can't add pages anymore. You must renew. And when renewing, choose the large book option if you travel often. A practical rule: if you have fewer than 4 blank pages, treat it like low fuel. I mean, yeah, you can technically keep driving, but you don't want to run out of gas on the middle of the highway. So get your passport office appointment on the calendar ASAP. Tip number 4, the 2026 UK rule. ETA is now a boarding requirement. If you're visiting the royals across the pond, aka the United Kingdom, there's a new rule you need to know. They call it the ETA, and without it, the airline will stop you from boarding. The UK's Electronic Travel Authorization, or ETA, is being strictly enforced by airline carriers, meaning they can deny boarding if you don't have it. Before any UK trip, make this your 3-step pre-flight. 1, confirm your passport is valid for the trip. 2, apply for your UK ETA if you're eligible. And 3, save the confirmation and keep your travel details consistent. Now, there is an important nuance. The UK has specific rules for UK and Irish citizens and some dual nationals. Some can't even get an ETA and will instead need a valid UK passport or other proof. So check your situation before travel, as this is not the moment you want to discover that your passport situation is complicated. Tip number 5, Europe's new border system, EES, means you're gonna need more time at arrival. All right, y'all, Europe is getting fancy. They have a brand new entry and exit system, or EES, that started rolling out in October 2025. We're talking kiosks, facial scans, even fingerprints for those over the age of 13. And with all of this new stuff, we're seeing slower first-time processing for non-EU travelers. They track this biometric data for both entries and exits, so it's best to plan for a delay the first time you enter the Schengen area. Meaning, if Europe is your first stop, avoid scheduling anything tight the day you land. Build in plenty of cushion if your connection goes through the Schengen area, and while you're at it, build an extra cushion for any grand transportation you're booking and check-in times as well. And as always, keep your passport easy to access. New systems like this require you to also be aware of your body with long lines, plus bright lights, plus standing still. This is where fatigue spikes. So pack a tiny little line kit in your personal item with water, electrolytes, a bar, lip balm, and of course, a layer. Or if you pack your personal item using my perfect personal item packing strategy, that's a lot of P's, you'll be good to go. And if you haven't seen it yet, it is linked in the description. Tip number 6, ETIAS is coming. Not yet, but your passport must be ready. So starting in the last quarter of 2026, you'll need an online travel authorization for all countries in the European Schengen area, and it will be electronically tied to your passport. It's the European Travel Information and Authorization System, or ETIAS. ETIAS is scheduled to start in the last quarter of 2026, and official EU guidance says travelers don't need to take action until it begins. But you do need a passport that meets the entry rules. And once ETIAS is live, citizens from visa-accept countries like the US are eligible. And once you obtain this travel authorization, it will be valid for up to 3 years or until the passport expires, whichever comes first. If you get a new passport, you must apply for a new ETIAS authorization. So 2 rules to keep you calm. Don't apply through random helper sites. Use official guidance only when it opens. And renew your passport early enough that your ETIAS and the booking details don't get messy. Because if you renew your passport, remember, your passport number changes. So anything linked to it may need updating later. Tip 7. Some countries are bringing back visa requirements. For example, Brazil. So for a long time, Americans didn't need visas for the countries we were visiting most often, but this is changing, and you don't want to get caught off guard. So for example, Brazil reinstated their visa requirement for US citizens. So when you book a trip, do a 60-second check. Go to the US State Department destination page. Read entry, exit, and visa requirements for the countries you plan to visit, and screenshot it for your trip folder. Tip 8, name match and document match. This is a sneaky one. Your ticket says Catherine L. Smith and your passport says Catherine Louise Smith, and now you're potentially not being allowed to board. Yikes. International travel runs on matching identifiers. If anything doesn't match, you can be turned away. Use this rule. Book flights exactly as your passport shows your name. Spacing and punctuation don't really matter as much as the core sequence and surnames, but don't get creative. If you've changed your name recently, travel with whatever supporting documents you've been advised to carry and keep digital backups. A practical system. Keep a travel identity entry in your encrypted passwords app on your phone with the exact name on your passport number, the issue date, expiration date, and your trusted traveler numbers if you use them. These are the numbers you'd use for TSA PreCheck and global entry. And lastly, include your emergency contact. Tip 9, your passport backup plan. This is so a lost passport isn't a trip-ending event. So imagine you misplace your passport in the hotel or it goes missing during a transit day. Without a plan, you spiral. But with the plan, you execute. The Lux Fix. Do this before every international trip. Take a clear photo of your passport photo page and take a photo of the barcode on the bottom of the last page. That barcode contains a ton of information that can be used if your passport is lost or stolen. Store it in a secure folder and consider a printed copy in a separate bag. Save the nearest US embassy or consulate info for each of your destinations. Then, if the worst happens on your trip and you misplace your passport, first, just stop and retrace your steps. Spend no more than 10 minutes but checking the last place you used it, places like your hotel safe, the front desk, and your personal item for traveling. Second, report it as missing to TSA, which can be done online. Once reported to TSA, it should be canceled within 1 business day. You'll get a confirmation email after it's done. Then report it by filing a local police report. While a police report isn't actually required for replacement, it can be required for travel insurance and to confirm the circumstances of the loss or theft. Then call the nearest U.S. embassy or consulate and book the earliest passport appointment. And be sure to ask for an emergency passport if you're flying soon. Gather your basics, a passport photo, any ID you still have, a copy of the lost passport that you made before you flew, your travel itinerary, the passport application, and the police report. Then you go to your appointment. Do note there's going to be some fees associated that you're going to have to pay. If needed, update your travel plans and contact your airline and hotel and adjust flights. Just be sure to keep the embassy's timeline in mind when adjusting your travel plans. All right, lastly, once you're back home, replace anything tied to your passport, like your global entry profile and trusted traveler documents. And don't forget, monitor for identity theft if you suspect it was stolen. And assuming you were issued an emergency passport, while it is good for 1 year, you're going to want to get it exchanged for a full validity passport once you're back home. And the tip to bypass this issue entirely: make a system for your passport and follow it every time. Like always putting it in the same place in your carry-on personal item. It's when we say, I'll just tuck it here for a second, that passports disappear. All right, now for the recap rundown. Renew your passport if you're inside 9 months of expiration. For Europe, 3 months past departure and issued within 10 years. Keep 2 to 4 blank pages or you may not board. For the UK, ETA is now a boarding requirement, so check eligibility and do it early. Europe border flow has changed. EES means biometrics and extra time at first entry. ETIAS is slated for late 2026. Don't apply early through third parties. Always check visa rules on State Department pages. Brazil is a current example. And book flights using your passport name exactly. And finally, make a passport backup plan before wheels up. That's the Passport Ready system for 2026. Fewer surprises, smoother lines, and 0 gate drama. Subscribe for new tips every week, and I'll see you in the next one.